question is, what is the purpose of women in Tariqah? Is it possible for women on the spiritual path to become shaykhs?
I think we have many talks on these subjects. So we have the binary subjects, that the binary code of being a dot and to reach an emptiness, a nothingness. And as much as we reach to be nothing, we reach towards divine favor. As much as we think we're something, we pull away from divinely lights. So evilness wants us to think we're something, and heavens wants us to think we are nothing. And that's binary code. When you're nothing, the energy hits you. When you're something, something is energizing you, but it's not the divine. So that's when we say that's evilness, pumping your ego thinking you're something. So the most dangerous is the shaykh, shaykha. We took a path in which to be nothing. If you reach that nothingness, your desire is not to be a shaykh or shaykha. Your desire was to be nothing. What we described of Imam alayhi salam. He didn't sit as a child and say, one day I hope they'll put my name in the azan. Wouldn't that be great? He said he sat in a bed to die. So somebody's lying when they talk like that. Or why don't in the kalima they can mention my name one day? That would sound like a shaitan would aspire to do that. Pharaoh talks like that, not the holy companions. So this is a demonic expression that invokes their anger because that's not their character. So you shouldn't sit and think, one day my name will be in the azan. But our life was to be nothing, be nothing, be nothing, be nothing, until you reached a point in which you went into seclusion and they said, look, you reached death. We will allow you to die in this seclusion, your family can come out and be surprised on the 40th day you're dead. And they take you to the grave and say, he died in his seclusion, his great honor. Or we'll let you stay. But now you have a different reality because your soul is now governing your physicality. And you will teach people how to reach this state if they follow your teachings. So that was the purpose of seclusions, was to enter to what death was and say, okay, you can die here, but I think it's better if you serve. And the shaykh comes to you because your connection in all your life is with the shaykh. Say, I would choose door number 2. Door number 1 is they find you, you're dead. Or door number 2, why don't you come back and ask for a life of service? So this is a different type of state. This is not somebody sitting and say, I want to be shaykha. There's somebody sitting and say, I want to be tested in a very difficult way. So that's the understanding. But nowadays it's just all egoistic. I want to post articles on the internet so that everybody will understand that I'm somebody, because at home I'm nobody. So they become internet shaykhas, posting for somebody to like. But that's not the way. The way was you were nothing, you were hidden to be nothing, and in your nothingness you achieved a proximity. And at that time the directions and coordinates would come to you. And for women most likely it would be a very hidden role in which to pray, keep praying for the support of those whom are out in the field of struggling. So that has its own reality. In the time of Prophet when they were going for battle, they all went out, and in one of the battles many passed away. And immediately it came from Allah that, don't take all your learned people out like that, because you're going to lose all of these alams and keep a party behind. So it means then it became now a separation that some will go and struggle in the field of life and others will be set back for learning the religion. Otherwise, if the future shaykhs are all out in the field all day long, then how are they going to reach that reality and reach that struggle and reach all of the testing that they have to? So that becomes a different reality, that they struggle in the dunya and Allah opens for them a means in which to be less involved in dunya and more deeply involved in their service. So again, those are very exceptional lifestyles where people can live a life of service. Allah has to open something for them for that to be accomplished. Otherwise then we're from the nature of those whom struggle in the way, struggle for their sustenance, struggle for their khidmat, and then through their service and learning to be nothing, Allah opens for them, if He wants, wilayat and sainthood. They don't necessarily have to be a shaykh, but they can be a saint. Where many saints they don't speak but they have different tasks that Allah gives to them, Prophet gives to them. There's 124,000 awliya at all times on this earth, 7,007 are Naqshbandi, most of which they don't know themselves and they're not shaykhs. Because shaykhs there's only few that are going to give guidance. If all of them were shaykhs then there would be just like a whole bunch of talk everywhere like a Turkish bazaar. So everybody would be saying everything from every direction, it would be chaos. So one time they showed it to us between the two brothers, it was like one was deep sea diving and the other one was monitoring his oxygen tanks. So it means one had to do a service to the other shaykh who was diving. So they had different roles. So between Mawlana Shaykh Hisham, he was an external shaykh who his ijazah was to go everywhere and teach everything and to author all of these different realities. And Mawlana Shaykh Adnan Qaddasallahu Siru, not that he didn't have the ijazah but was not his nature. His nature was of the spiritual. He was hidden and continuously in seclusions. And his energies, his du'as and his practices were immense support for Mawlana Shaykh to do what he was doing. Because somebody had to clean, somebody had to energize, somebody had to keep praying and supporting. So there was like a system and a team. So many things like that, that many situations that awliya are supporting but they're not known and they're not to be known because they're supposed to be supporting. As soon as they're known, the direction and attention that comes to them is a distraction to their practices and their responsibility. So it should make sense like in dunya sense, there's the salesperson, he goes out and does all the selling. But there's a whole management behind there to make sure the factory is producing what it has to produce. If one of those other managers goes out, the whole factory shuts down. So the shaykhs are the people whom their face represents the realities, but there's an immense amount of work happening behind the scenes that support them, that put out the energies, to support the students and send all the different blessings and barakah and keep away all these different difficulties. Many different practices. So people should aspire to be nothing and hope to reach Allah's satisfaction, inshaAllah. And women in the last days have to guard their energy points because Dajjal's energy will flip them very fast, and that's why many inhabitants and followers of the Dajjal will be women, because they have two energy points, they're very subtle towards energy, and the signals he's broadcasting through Wi-Fi, through every means possible, through every show, TV, everything, He's going after them in 6 directions, and their energies are very subtle, so many of them fall prey to that. So in last days it's better to take a life in which you isolate yourself, disengage from social media in a personal sense, where you put your personal name and talk about your life and talk about the news and what your children ate. Absolutely sort of divorce yourself from that reality, and the only reality you have is just Muhammadan way. And you post for Muhammadan way, you post reels for Muhammadan way, nobody knows that you're a man or a woman. The gender shouldn't be known, especially if you're female nature, because then shaitan will target you and he send his dogs that come and distract you and ruin your life. Stay out of that field of difficulty, inshaAllah.